Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Amadeus Aeon. Today's topic, we're going to be discussing how to level in Stormblood. Now, with the coming of Stormblood, there's a new level cap, that being level 70. And with that, there's a lot of EXP to grind for. It's definitely no laughing matter, that's for sure. But I assure you, I'm here to help you as best I can to kind of understand and comprehend ways in which you can kind of get through it a little bit faster. Now, it really hasn't, the leveling process, it really hasn't changed all too much since A Realm Reborn and Heaven's Lord. So essentially, you'll continue to have your daily roulettes, your fates, your hunts, and your dungeons and so on. But, well, now with that, the development team of Final Fantasy XIV has been coming up with ways to incentivize you to want to actually level up and do content. So, they've come up with a bonus of sorts during fates. And basically, these fates will be marked with a little gold marker. And what that means is essentially that if you get a high enough rating, you'll receive a lot of bonus EXP for completing the fate. And this bonus is usually anywhere from 25,000 to 50,000, so it's really worth doing these fates if you can, and if you have others that you can get to help you that are nearby to kind of get through these fates a little fast. And essentially, in Stormblood areas, you'll be earning 100,000 of EXP from fates instead of the typical 25 or 45 from Realm Reborn and Heaven's Lord. Now, they didn't really change a whole lot with your hunts, except they've added some new hunts for level 60 to 70. And it's still basically the same reward structure. You'll get gil and experience and seals for completing the hunts. But the important thing is that you can also do the previous hunts from Heaven's Word as level 60, and you will not be suffering a EXP penalty for that. You will still be able to get the EXP from it. So there are 5 stacks or 5 monsters in one stack of hunts, and there's 3 tiers, of course, the same as Heaven's Word, so that's 15 total. So if you have that, plus you get the Heaven's Word hunts, you'll have a total of 35 hunts to do, and they're fairly moderate EXP, but it's definitely something to consider that will help you definitely level up just a little bit quicker as you're doing fates or you're waiting for a roulette or dungeon queue. Now, there's a new addition, which I'm sure some may not have heard of who are new anyway, or haven't given it a try yet, but the other newer method of leveling that they've given us is the experience gained through PvP, which is kind of unusual when you think about it, because PvP is meant to be something that's kind of competitive, and you know, when you're throwing, like, say someone who's newer to the stuff and they just want to, you know, kind of just get EXP and stuff, it makes it a little bit harder basically for the PvPers or player versus players to kind of enjoy the sport just a little bit. So I'm not 100% sure if they're ever going to address that sort of issue or if they're kind of thinking about it, but so far, if someone's level 30 in any job, then they can indefinitely unlock PvP and use that as a leveling outlet. Now, aside from PvP, there's still Palace of the Dead and, you know, Heaven's Ward Beast tribes that you can use as well. Their experience has not gone up for those, so it will still be, you know, in the lower 100,000 EXP, but, you know, EXP is EXP, and it's fast and easy to do, so it's definitely something worth doing if you want to save some time and not be, you know, waiting for like almost an hour or a half hour just trying to, you know, jump into a queue. So there's also those as a form of leveling to use. And in recent news, we're told that we'll be getting a new Palace of the Dead type dungeon, a new deep dungeon, and basically it will kind of be like a sort of another leveling outlet for players to use as well from 60 to 70, so you can expect there to be some good EXP awarded from completing 10 floors of this new deep dungeon that we're going to receive as well. Now, while we're discussing leveling, I should mention the fact of there being the jump potions now available to the North American data centers. So there's kind of controversy about leveling potions, as I've stated in my previous videos before, but basically with the leveling potion here that they've given us, it's for one job of your choosing and only one job. And so far, I don't know, they haven't suggested any changes, but you can only buy one leveling potion per account. So if that's something you want to do to kind of get ahead in the game and not have to, you know, worry about, oh, I'm never going to catch up to my friends if you're new, you know, and came in from like other games, so to speak. And it's just something that you want to do, you know, to play the end game stuff and catch up to the latest expansion. Then they have that available on the Mog Station for 25 bucks. And this potion will give you level 60 in the job that you chose it from, whether that's Paladin, Scholar, Astrologian, Dark Knight, Ninja, or whatever. And along with this, you'll also get some level 60 gear to go with that. So it is a pretty good deal, but again, with this controversy that we have, some people are against it and have even kind of begun to shun or mistreat some of the players that have used these potions. And what I mean by that is that usually if people will say, oh, hey, yeah, I just used a jump potion to get here, so I don't really know my job that well and stuff like that. And or you'll even get some people who are like, hey, I paid money to get this game, so why should I give a shit like what you say and everything else. But you know, it's kind of a double-sided coin. There's good and there's bad to it. Like, I can see the good points, but I can see the bad points also. Like, yeah, you will get some people who think, oh, I'm all that, I know how to play and everything, just because they, you know, they got a free boost all the way up to 60, and so they'll start, you know, kind of bad-mouthing the players that exist in this game already, who have actually gone through and done the work for the levels that they've gained, and it just kind of causes this kind of friction in the player base. And so it's definitely something that Square Enix will have to look at in the future, of maybe you know, consolidating, you know, its existing players, you know, making it so that it's more, you know, fair for them, and also while keeping it so that it's, you know, moderate for these players who have used this jump potion to get ahead a lot faster and to join, you know, like I said, either catch up and join with friends or what end game, the current expansion end game and such. But since the level cap is 70, they haven't completely thrown them a freebie, so that's something to keep in mind if you're maybe someone who doesn't really care for these players who are essentially, you know, buying their way through the game. And but that's definitely something to keep in mind, is that even though they've gotten that far, they still have to, you know, catch up to the current cap of level 70, so they're not completely given just a free ride like some people will suggest. So yeah, that's just that mess and controversy. It's really kind of a bitter subject for most people, but you know, there's some good that comes out of it. Like I said, you'll get more players coming in to try out things, to want to play the game and all that such. And since they're paying for this service, you know, it helps also you know, helps us get more patch updates and so forth, more content to do. So there's the good side and the bad side, and that's all we really need to go and discuss. So with that out of the way, that's pretty much leveling in a nutshell. It's the same as it was before, plus some more consolidation factors involved. People getting a little more EXP. Plus, you know, if you use free company buffs and food, then that will also help you jump ahead in the leveling process as well. Anyway, thanks for listening in on my discussion on leveling 61 to 70. I wish you luck in your leveling, and I hope to see some of you around in Eorzea. Take care.